As we well know, that addiction is not just limited to pills and opiates. And as the national conversation continues about the legalization of marijuana, are there any studies that suggest that early marijuana use can potentially be a gateway drug for an opiate addiction?
Sanjay, you've looked into this a lot.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, there's a lot of studies around this. A lot of people have looked at this, and I think for a long time there was a concern that, look, is this a true scientific gateway? Is marijuana a gateway? What we know is that there are a lot of people who start with things like marijuana and then move on to heroin or cocaine, and even earlier than marijuana. They may start with alcohol or smoking. So in that regard, smoking or alcohol could be considered the gateway. But the real question is, does marijuana in some way change your brain or prime your brain in a way that you then need to crave something else, like a heroin or a cocaine? And the answer to that really seems to be no. That's a myth. It's a myth that's been propagated for a long time, but the idea that you take marijuana for a while and now you need to have something more powerful scientifically just doesn't hold up.
Dr. Drew, do you agree with that?
You know, when I've treated marijuana addicts that are really into pot, the problem is it wanes over time, and they then try to find something else to substitute. So it's sort of a substitution, not more than a gateway, in my experience with it.
That's somebody who's already, though,
did marijuana. This is a rare, small population get marijuana addiction, but when they do, it can be rough. It can be very addictive for some. It's a rare, small population get marijuana addiction, but when they do, it can be rough. It can be very addictive for some.
Clear. Yet you continue to do things that aren't good for you. Sounds kind of foolish to me, don't you think? That makes a lot of sense.
They won't stop. People are...
It's just not known for good judgment.
But you're okay with being
an exception to the rule. Because the rules weren't made for the exceptional. They were written by them.
And this looks like this is where they started to fake it.
And I just kept running like hell. I was too stupid to be scared.
For your world of compromised values and diminished brain cells that you throw away like confetti. Am I speaking to you clearly?
Yes.
Do we understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't ask for this role, but I'll play it. Now go do your best. Be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid. Goethe said that it's not too late for you to become a person of substance. You know, I'm glad we spoke.
Oh, man. You made friends with them. See, friendship is the booze they feed you. Is they want you to get drunk and feeling like you belong.
Well, it was fun.
Because they make you feel cool. And hey, I met you. You are not cool.
You were right. This narrator might very well kill you, so I humbly suggest that you just forget all this and go live your life.
To live my life? I am living my life. I'd like to continue to live my life.
I know, of course. I mean...
Whatever comes our way, whatever battle we have raging inside us, we always have a choice. My friend Harry taught me that. He chose to be the best of himself. It's the choices that make us who we are, and we can always choose to do what's right.
A group of Canadian smokers is suing Canada's three biggest tobacco companies for $27 billion in damages and penalties because they weren't properly warned of the dangers of smoking. This action has sparked similar litigious actions from other self-proclaimed victims of dangerous products. Joining me is Methy Jane.
What's up, fruit?
So what exactly is your case? You were never warned what might happen if you smoked crystal meth?
I don't know, man. You know? Make it seem so awesome and everything like that. Like, you fall in love. Your dreams will come true.
You were told illegal drugs would make your dreams come true.
Why else? How is anybody supposed to know that smoking and drugs is bad for you? Nobody ever says that.
But the real question is, does marijuana in some way change your brain or prime your brain in a way that you then need to crave something else, like a heroin or a cocaine? And the answer to that really seems to be no. That's a myth. That's a myth. That's a myth.
That's a myth. That's a myth. That's a myth. That's a myth. That's a myth. That's a myth.
It's clear that you haven't the faintest idea of which end is up here. That's not an insult, it's a statement of fact. I can't do your homework for you, but I can point you in the right direction.
It's a rare, small population get marijuana addiction, but when they do, it can be rough. It can be very addictive. It can be rough. It can be very addictive. It can be rough. It can be very addictive. It can be rough. It can be very addictive.
The tobacco grower would say it's a legal crop, and their focus is on growing the healthiest plant that they can. What do you think of that?
Well, unfortunately, it's a legal crop that kills people. We wouldn't allow someone to say they're going to make the highest quality heroin or the highest quality cocaine or the best marijuana that they can possibly make just because that happens to be their business. And the end result of that business is something that's incredibly harmful in the United States and around the world.
Since Canada banned flavoring in cigarettes, nearly 200 countries have pledged to follow suit. And for growers, it only gets worse. New research shows that secondhand smoke is far more toxic than previously thought, causing 600,000 deaths a year. That's on top of the 5 million a year who die directly from smoking. Numbers like that have led some politicians to try to snuff it out entirely.
The New York City smoking ban is built around health in the workplace. It is not trying to take away your right to smoke. I happen to think if you smoke, you're pretty stupid, because it really is going to kill you.
I live 50 miles away from Canada, you know? It's not some kind of communist authoritarian country. They're doing okay. They got a healthcare system that guarantees healthcare to all people. We can do the same.
'Tis easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to get into heaven.
Sometimes I just don't get it.
What I'm saying is the eye of the needle is very small, and a camel...
No, I mean down there. They have everything we need to survive, but they won't share.
Prevention manager who was recently hired says your folks are using what he called Gestapo tactics.
Yeah, you know, I have to say, Anderson, it is bizarre. Donald and his team, it's almost like they are subjects in a clinical course on psychology. There are all sorts of different behaviors they display, but one of them is projection. That the conduct they do, regularly they accuse everyone else of doing.
We have this guy, Lion Ted Cruz. We know Lion Ted, right? I mean, nobody likes him. I've never seen a guy like this. In fact, have we branded this guy or what? I mean, he probably, I see him walking into these beautiful corridors in Washington and guys say, hey, Lion Ted, how you doing?
I'm scared to death of a person who's setting that sort of a tone.
Freedom is the recognition that no single person, no single authority or government has a monopoly on the truth. It is the right to put forth an idea, scoffed at by the experts, and watch it catch fire among the people.
Donald Trump is no stranger to controversy, but this go around, it is his time on the fairways that's raising eyebrows. The Republican presidential candidate had tweeted, quote, I don't know Samuel L. Jackson. To the best of my knowledge, haven't played golf with him and think he does too many TV commercials. Boring, not a fan.
You claim right here you have met him.
Yeah, I met him a lot.
You've played golf with him.
I played golf with him.
He claims...
I actually played golf with him with Anthony Anderson one day.
Gotcha.
And we were all playing together, and we clearly saw him hook a ball into a lake at Trump National in Jersey. And his caddy told him he found it.
Now, was the caddy soaking wet when he said this?
No, he was not. Yeah, he just took off running, and next thing you know, I got it, Mr. Trump. And you're like, oh, did you see a splash? We saw a splash.
Gotcha.
And he used to call me. I have another person that can verify that he knows me. He called me one day. I was here in New York. And was always calling him Samuel L. the Don. Who? The Don. Oh, Mr. Trump, how you doing? Yeah, you busy today? No. You want to play golf? Sure. Well, I'm not going to play, but I got a friend who wants to play, and we're going to play at my club in, it was over here, not in Manhattan, but the other Trump club that's on this side of the bridge. And when I got there, it was President Clinton.
Really?
Who could also verify that Donald Trump knows me.
Wow.
It's terrible. No, it's dishonest. Okay, it's very dishonest. It's true. It's very dishonest. Oh, could I tell you stories about the media? You know, I've always found the financial, because with financial it's a little bit easier to figure, but I've always found the financial media to be pretty good. You know, you have some guys there too, but pretty good. But the political media and the coverage, wow, it's tough. And I tell it to people because I want you to know, a lot of times what you're reading isn't just not the truth. It's just not the truth. Now, the biggest problem with my saying that, you know, but who can blame them? Hey, I'd probably do the same thing if I heard this.
On Tuesday, widespread rejection from his GOP rivals.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for. You know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
So we're going to unmask him for the con man that he is.
This will not change until the politics changes and the behavior of elected officials changes. And so the main thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about this.
Quite frankly, that too many times the policy decisions here in Washington, and this could be both parties, are made by the influence of money. The policy should be made by the influence of the people and their representatives, not the money people, not the money people, not the money representatives, not the money representatives, not the money.
The way Mr. Trump is crazy for sort of golden objects. I saw a Vanity Fair piece on his apartment. Everything is gold.
Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. All is vanity.
From the race.
Trump, unfazed by comparisons to Hitler, on the front page of the Philadelphia Daily News.
For, among other things, deporting all of the undocumented, an idea some of his opponents blasted as unworkable.
It's not doable, and secondly, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's humane.
Have we branded this guy or what?
Speak.
So would he make a good president?
I don't think so at all. I mean, when I heard he was running for president, first time, now again the second time, I actually thought it was a joke. I have to say that there are traits that have to be part of any great leader that just don't exist. Fairness, fair play, no bullying, no name calling, creating consensus. With a population that has great diversity, not making people divided and hating each other, not appealing to the worst base note in the human being. And he does all of those things particularly well, and yet he's looking for the biggest leadership in America. Right, so president. I mean, that is mind-boggling. I don't believe you could really listen to anything he says and really believe that he will actually do it.
So what's the bottom line? Who do you actually think will win?
Oh, who will win? Donald Trump will win.
Donald Trump.
Not a doubt in my mind.
All right, Barbara Corcoran, thank you very much. And we'll be right back.
But if we give up now, then we forsake a better future. Those with money and power will gain greater control over the decisions that could send a young soldier to war, or allow another economic disaster, or roll back the equal rights and voting rights that generations of Americans have fought, even died to secure. And then, as frustration grows, there will be voices urging us to fall back into our respective tribes, to scapegoat fellow citizens who don't look like us, or pray like us, or vote like we do, or share the same background. We can't afford to go down that path.
All of them. You've got a choice between honest socialists on the left, like Bernie Sanders, and lying conservatives on the right.
What we are talking about is what all religions hold dear, and that is to do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. Family, we are in this together.
That's it. Okay, enough. I still got all I need.
The greatest lesson one generation can bestow upon the next is that reverence for the past ensures the future.
The madman is back in the house.
You got that right.
Bill Clinton has accused George Bush of lying about his record.
Mr. Bush is in Tennessee once again, grossly misrepresenting my record and position.
Truth of the matter is, I don't know the man.
But tell that to Boehner, who revealed 2 years ago that Cruz was once his attorney.
Ted Cruz used to be my attorney a long time ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's a good guy.
Yeah. Look, we'll take a
break.
break.
I don't always agree with him, but he's a good guy.
No. Cruz also threw cold water on the pact he announced this week with John Kasich. That was supposed to mean the Ohio governor would no longer compete in Indiana.
There is no alliance.
Moments after that comment, Kasich's chief strategist tweeted, "I can't stand liars." The drama surrounding Cruz's campaign has taken some heat off of Trump, who is still trying to explain his comment that Hillary Clinton is playing the woman card.
Nobody cherishes and nobody respects women more than Donald Trump. That I can tell you. I will be so much better to women than Hillary Clinton is.
Joined by his running mate Carly Fiorina, who once clashed with Trump herself, Cruz pointed to the GOP frontrunner's pattern with women.
Donald has a problem with strong women.
I'm scared to death of a person who's setting that sort of a tone.
Some of these women are willing to overlook Trump's comments because they think he's strong on the economy and jobs. Though after calling Megyn Kelly crazy and making fun of Carly Fiorina's face, some here are surprised Trump is still on top.
I thought when he made those derogatory remarks about Carly Fiorina's personal stature and her beauty, that would sink him.
In fact, some in our group said they'd still support Trump, even after comments he made to Howard Stern years ago. The men were talking about women in the beauty pageant Trump once owned.
First of all, she's unbelievably short, and I'm a little bit surprised. I think that the boob job is terrible. You know, they look like two light posts coming out of a body.
I call this cocktail talk, and he just doesn't know any better.
Though he's talking about contestants in the pageant, it's another way to get people to watch the pageant.
Ladies, I can't believe you're excusing his behavior as the world of business or as good old boys network. I mean, those are the exact same justifications used for sexual harassment for years. To use the word boob several times, that's not promoting the pageant.
These comments would not prevent you from voting for Donald Trump.
No, they will not.
Brenda Gerber-Vincent is disgusted by all of Trump's comments about women, but is still considering him for president.
Is there anything he could do to win your vote?
We're smart. I mean, we're really smart. We understand policy. We understand what's necessary for the country to move forward. We understand economic development. Start speaking to us as partners.
Thank you, everybody.
In the end, though, Trump may drive some of these Republican women to vote Democratic.
If Donald Trump is the nominee, would any of you consider voting for Hillary Clinton, voting Democratic?
No.
Molly says yes.
Yes. I am undecided of what I will do in the fall if Trump is the nominee.
So you may actually vote for the other party?
I may.
Randy Kay, CNN, Indianapolis.
Something that you think someone like a Donald Trump could agree with, right? He's coming under criticism for, his beauty pageants and how he liked to look at the women and comment on their beauty, which of course is why they were there.
It's a little different. Okay. It's a little different in a business situation. I've been there many times where you're in a business situation and someone is making a physical reference to your beauty or something about you or your lack of beauty. It's inappropriate. It's a sex card, and it's not appropriate in any situation. Vastly different.
So the issue of women is very important in this election because of Donald Trump, and of course because Hillary Clinton is a woman. Donald Trump has said that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, his infidelities are fair game. In fact, he has attacked Hillary Clinton for the way she handled her husband's infidelity. Here's how he put it.
I've heard this.
Hillary was an enabler, and she treated these women horribly. Just remember this. And some of those women were destroyed not by him, but by the way that Hillary Clinton treated them after everything went down.
Is it fair to call her an enabler?
It is so unfair. That is so insulting. When I heard that, I wanted to throw something at my TV, honestly. I was livid hearing that. And who would treat a woman who slept with your husband lovely after the fact? Name one person. I wouldn't.
So when this boils down, does this mean you are a Hillary Clinton supporter? Are you going to vote for her?
I'll tell you what Hillary Clinton has. She's at least presidential. Okay, she has dignity. She's not a street dirty fighter. She has the credentials to be the President of the United States, and she's a woman of great accomplishment. I have to say that somehow is lost in the media jungle out there. These are very important traits. She's also kind. I think kind is a most underestimated virtue in any leader, and it's very important.
And what is laughable, well, actually, it's not laughable because it's such a serious issue. It's actually kind of embarrassing. It's actually kind of embarrassing when you have somebody like Donald Trump who is just completely outright lying about Hillary Clinton's positions on the Second Amendment. But clearly, this is somebody who has lived in a fact-free zone for the past 9 months versus Hillary Clinton, who is putting out there very well thought out proposals that would actually keep our Second Amendment rights, but at the same time focus on gun safety, which is what the majority of Americans want.
Let's take a broader look at the Republican Party now. Mr. Trump, one of the concerns that your opponents have expressed throughout the course of this campaign is the notion that, in their estimation, you hold views that are at direct odds with Republican Party tradition.
Well, first of all, I don't really think that. I think that I hold views that are very similar to many of the and down. And I think that's why there's been such an outpouring of love to what I'm saying.
Well, the immediate reaction I heard from conservatives that I talked to after this was that, yeah, a lot of those names are people that we like, but we have no reason to trust Donald Trump will actually stick with them.
That's right. That, of course, is the issue.
And I think that this is part of the problem. He's trying to build goodwill with the conservative base and with elements of the Republican establishment that are still resistant. Same thing with his meeting with Kissinger. It's the same effort, right? But the problem is that he's lost so much trust over the course of the past year that no one's sure, even if he says the right things, whether he'll actually do them.
I find the timing of it interesting, though, because why today? Why this week?
Yeah,
I feel like he's trying to deflect from the New York Times women's story and that narrative getting more entrenched, because why does this come today?
It's funny, there's an old expression, numbers don't lie, people do.
How does he keep coming up with new ways to be annoying?
Nobody knows. That's why he's #1.